Hello, this is Tim Estes and Brie Reyes from Estes Financial Services. And today we're going to talk about, do your investments have a virus? What you're about to learn is the financial impact of this pandemic. You're going to learn how to vaccinate your money and how to know if you are prepared. But before we get started, I'm going to ask you a favor. Go ahead and turn off your phone, click out of all your other windows, close your door, and focus for the next 45 minutes or so. Because what we're going to give you is a lot of good information, and we don't want you to have any distractions. This is for you if you are an active investor with a 401k or own stocks, bonds, or mutual funds. You've suffered some negative impact from the recent stock volatility, or you don't know what to do next or how this recent crisis will impair your future plans.
We understand that you're worried. As you're probably aware, the markets are driven by fear and emotion. There are companies that are thriving at times like this, but unfortunately, investors usually pay the price.
So, are you panic buying? Are you going out and clearing the shelves of all the products that they have? That's reacting to the emotions that we all get and have. I saw a woman walking out of the store the other day, and her cart was loaded with bottles of water. And I was thinking, why is she doing that? Is she expecting the tap water to stop flowing? There's been no proven cases of the coronavirus coming through the tap. So I think that was a bit of an emotional overreaction or a hysterical reaction. And we're seeing people all the time doing panic buying. I just don't think it's necessary.
Imagine if you could wave a magic wand and you could automatically lower your stress level. Answer that huge question in your mind and be prepared for the next time, because we know something like this is going to happen again.
So first, let us tell you a little bit about our story. That's a picture of Brie and I, and then there's also a picture of me with my dad. My dad was my hero. And unfortunately, back in 1990, I get a phone call from him and my mom, and they had been essentially taken advantage of by an unscrupulous financial advisor. And they put money into a ill-advised investment, and about 3/4 of their retirement money was gone, just totally disappeared. So they were afraid they would end up not being able to stay retired and would have to go back to work. And that's what spurred me to get into the financial services industry. And Brie saw different things going on with her grandfather, my dad, and it impacted her also.
I remember going and visiting him in Houston while I was in College Station. And, most times the grandparents spoil the grandchildren and take them out to dinner and stock their fridges and stuff when you're in college. Well, it's kind of the other way around. Anytime that I had some free time, I would tend to go down to Houston and make sure Grandpa had a good meal and kind of go through his fridge, or I'd show up with extra groceries and maybe leave some money accidentally when I left. And we did everything we could. And my parents did everything they could to make sure he was taken care of. Money magically showed up in his checking account, but he was part of that greatest generation.
He was very proud and didn't really want the help, but he knew that he needed it. So it was kind of a unspoken thing that money would appear in his checking account. This was so financially devastating for him that for the last 10 years of his life, he lived in a FEMA trailer. It was very hard to see him living like that, and I had offered to get him an apartment. I'd offered to get him a house, but being part of that greatest generation, being a very proud man, he would often say, nope, nope, I'm fine. I'm got my everything I need. I'm in my little trailer and I'm doing just fine. So this is why both Brie and I got into the financial services industry, because we want to see if we can make sure that it doesn't happen to other people. So before we begin, we want to talk a little bit about the economic fears that are hitting the global markets. This is from Wall Street Journal from August of 2011, and you can see even then we had issues going on. So
Looks like it could have been the Wall Street Journal today.
yes. So has this ever happened before? Yes, it has.
This is the market news published 2020. The Dow crashes 800 points after China makes a shocking corona confession. Oh, we've also seen it with swine flu. Swine flu virus infects world stock markets. This is 2009. Poultry stocks rocketed by avian flu outbreak 2016. This was a big one here in Texas. Ebola is spooking Wall Street 2014 because we had some cases in Dallas.
So how have the markets reacted to all this bad news? Well, in this slide, you can see that in previous outbreaks, the market swiftly rebounded. So the dark blue is from the start to the crisis peak, and then you have 1 month after the peak in light blue, and then 3 months after the peak. So if you look at 3 months after the peak for the SARS, the market was up over 30%. Swine flu, it was up 25%. Ebola, which really didn't affect us too much, market was still up over 8%. And then with the Zika, market was up again over 35%. So granted, past performance is not indicative of future results, but you can see that after these crises, the market rebounds swiftly. All right, so yes, the Dow has lost more than 800 points. The 2-day losses on the coronavirus fears totaled more than 1,800, and I think today it's down even more, but it will come back. So this is the MSCI World Index growth for the past 50 years of $100,000. And we'll show you different crises that we've had with different diseases throughout time and see how it has affected the market. Here's the HIV/AIDS pandemic, the Hong Kong flu, smallpox in Yugoslavia, London flu, 72, 73, smallpox in India. How about cholera in South America in the 90s? The plague, I mean, holy cow, the plague in 1994. The VCJD, meningitis, West Africa, the Nipah virus outbreak in Malaysia, the dengue fever, cholera, SARS, coronavirus in China, yellow fever. How about the bubonic plague? Holy cow, we're talking the bubonic plague, and yet the market still continues to go up. Dengue fever again in these different countries. Hand, foot, and mouth in China, 2008. Flu pandemic, or the H1N1 worldwide, 2009. Mumps and measles. How about Ebola? Swine flu and Zika, and now corona. And during that time, your $100,000 would have grown to $6,723,336. So just because you see the market go down doesn't mean it won't recover, as it has proven to do every single time.
So, what do we need to do in times like this? We need to stay calm. We need to fight the temptation to think this time it's different. And we need to get a complete understanding of how your portfolio is designed. Warren Buffett is a wonderful financial guru to look at. And he says this year, February 25th, don't buy or sell on the headlines as coronavirus puts stock under pressure. So we look at how to vaccinate our money. Unfortunately, we're not going to cure all diseases, so this is probably going to happen again. Markets like news are unpredictable. And market declines can be even more hurtful during retirement.
So one way to do it, or one way to take care of yourself, is to develop a bucket strategy. And this is something that we try to do with our clients. So if you need income for the 1 to 5 years, you have an income bucket. And then as you progressively get further out, you can get more aggressive, and you're growing your assets, and you want to be in a growth type of portfolio so that money that you're not going to count on for another 15 to 20 years can be in a more aggressive or growth portfolio where the stuff that you need to pay your bills and everything is in a very conservative bucket.
Another investment philosophy that we follow here that's often not followed as specifically as it should be is rebalancing to our portfolios. You also need to know your volatility, the volatility within your portfolio, and what you're comfortable with. And volatility can be kind of confusing. So we have two important numbers to take a look at here.
Standard deviation, or the amount of risk you're taking. That's a scientific number, and you need to know what kind of risk or what your standard deviation is on your portfolio. If you don't know, then you may be taking more risk than you think you are. You also need to know what your average return is. And I'm not talking the average return over 1 year or 3 years or even 5 years. You want to know the average return on your portfolio over a long period of time, because we believe in investing for a lifetime. So we're looking at least 15 to 20 years to know what your average return is. As John Bogle said, time is your friend and impulse is your enemy. You don't want to impulsively sell or buy because of what's going on in the market. So, are you prepared? Look, bad news is normal. It's rarely permanent, but it has to be planned for.
With our firm, we have helped clients, like, for example, this lady here, run a financial plan and prepare for the bad times and take a look at where she is now, what changes may need to be made to her portfolio. But we gave her the opportunity of looking forward into the future and stress testing that portfolio and letting her know that she had plenty of assets to be able to walk away and invest with that sleep factor, that comfort factor. And she sat in our office crying, because knowing that and having that feeling is so super important. The other thing we've been able to do as of late is help our clients that are taking monthly withdrawals that have excess cash. So they decided to temporarily suspend them. It's keeping us from liquidating shares of their portfolio and forcing us to sell at a low point and lock in those losses. These two things that we have done just in the last few days for individual clients have changed their outlook on retirement dramatically. How do we do this? Step one, we create your financial picture. Most people and financial services companies work backwards when financial planning. We work with all of our clients to create their financial picture today. And how do we do that? We analyze. You need to know what's volatile, what's stable in your portfolio, what's taxable. Is it taxed now, taxed later, or taxed never? Where should you pull money from, and when and how? Taking a look at taxes. And what's your worst 1 year return likely to be? then we may have to make adjustments. Good planning is all about factoring in the possibilities and the impact of bad news. We take a look at market losses, high taxes, deaths, and disabilities for clients.
So by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. Benjamin Franklin.
So far, we've discovered health scares are not new and have not been fatal to portfolios. Steps can be taken to protect and even capitalize from them. Proper planning is the key to dealing with the unexpected. Bad news is inevitable.
So I hope you get this one thing from this webinar. You don't have to live in fear. This too will pass. So how do you make this happen? How do you prepare yourself for this? Well, you have two choices. You can go about it and do trial and error, or you can get results quickly by talking to someone like us that can help you get through this time right now.
Introducing the Estes Financial Flight Plan. As you can see to the right, we take a look at, the first thing we do is take a look at your risk tolerance and what you are comfortable taking.
So who is this not for? It's for people that already have an advisor and you love them and trust them 100%, or on a scale of 1 to 10 being comfortable with what you're doing, you're a 9 or a 10, or you enjoy handling all your financial needs. If this is you, then you don't need to give us a call. But if you're concerned, worried, scared, or upset about what's going on and don't know which direction to go, then maybe you might want to give us a call.
What you will receive is a holistic analysis in all areas of your financial life, not just how your portfolio is constructed. We take a look at retirement income strategies, investment strategy, tax planning, insurance planning, and estate planning, all in one comprehensive financial plan.
So imagine knowing that you have a good comprehensive financial plan, that your portfolio is set up for the amount of risk that you're willing to take. And imagine that even though the market is in turmoil and people are running around crazy like they have their hair on fire, and you're able to go to bed at night and sleep knowing that you have taken care of it and that you have a good, solid financial plan in place to make sure that you are taken care of for a lifetime. Imagine how that would feel. So if you're concerned and if you would like to talk with us, you can go to gooneshub.com/Estes, or you can call us and set up a time to arrange for a 15-minute phone call. It's a no obligation phone call, and you can come into the office or you can call, but we will talk to you and try to help you answer your questions and see if we're a right fit to help work with you.
In the meantime, go out and lead an abundant life.
Thanks for attending. Bye.